The Bold and the Beautiful scoop for the week of January 26th reveals Ivy Forrester will get an eyeful of Dylan and Will Spencer. Also coming up, Electra Forrester and Steffy Forrester will head to San Francisco. Plus, Deacon Sharp will continue to gaslight Sheila Carter. And Carter Walton has big plans. B&B spoilers tease Carter will talk to Daphne Rose about his vision of their future together. As viewers know, the two got engaged recently, after Carter panicked when the perfumer announced she was leaving LA. So, will he suggest they get married right away? Meanwhile, Sheila will continue to praise Taylor Hayes for saving her marriage. Of course, she has no idea her husband is placating her, and just asked the psychiatrist out on a date. In the B&B weekly preview, Deacon finally goes for it and plants a kiss on Taylor. But will she kiss him back? In San Francisco, Electra and Steffy will present Forrester's jewelry collection to Dottie Bright and her assistant Joseph. They'll also meet with a wealthy buyer, portrayed by Spencer Pratt. Later in the week, Electra will open up to her cousin, likely about her insecurities regarding Dylan living at the beach house. Other B&B spoilers tease Brooke Forrester will urge RJ Forrester to work with Ridge Forrester. Plus, John Finnegan will bring Hayes Finnegan to visit Dylan. Finally, Ivy will be stunned when she peers into Will's window and sees Dylan sitting on his lap. Rumor has it, Dylan will practice some dance moves, accidentally trip, and end up falling on top of Will. Not surprisingly, this is when Ivy will just happen to come along. Ivy will return the next day and confront Dylan, who will try to explain what happened. However, Electra's aunt won't be having it. Ivy will order the art teacher to leave LA immediately. But will Dylan comply? Hey B&B fans, are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading The Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for next 3 weeks, January 26th to February 13th. Hint that Hayes Finnegan will have a babysitting crisis. Steffy Forrester Finnegan may also get dragged into a cover-up while Sheila Sharp gets suspicious. The week of January 26 to 30 may bring a dilemma for Steffy. After Steffy decides to go out of town with Electra Forrester unexpectedly, she will suddenly need someone to look after Hayes for a bit. Dylan will ride to the rescue and volunteer, since she'll indeed end up on babysitting duty. The catch is, Will Spencer will join Dylan in spending time with Hayes, so they'll essentially be babysitting him together. Hayes will make some brown bag puppets with Will and Electra, so he might wind up asking awkward questions, like why she's living at the guest house and if they're a couple. Since Electra was against Dylan eating Will's teriyaki chicken, you can bet she'd be against this babysitting bonding too. Unfortunately, the trouble will continue when Dylan has some sort of ballerina mishap while alone with Will later. Ivy Forrester will spy on Will and Dylan through the beach house window, so she'll be shocked to see Dylan in his lap. In San Francisco, Steffy and Electra will meet with Dottie and her assistant, Joseph, so they'll present some jewelry items and try to impress them. After Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes finally share a real kiss, it may be the start of them truly sneaking around together during the week of February 2 to 6. Once Steffy comes home and finds out, she may become part of the cover-up, though she'll no doubt keep pushing Taylor to stop this madness. Sheila will inevitably start getting suspicious at some point, so Steffy may fear the worst. As for Electra, she'll presumably get some startling updates from Ivy upon her own return to Los Angeles. Electra may totally lose it on Dylan once she finds out about the lap incident that Ivy witnessed. This could lead to Electra putting her foot down and insisting that Dylan needs to leave Will's guest room. Will may object to forcing Dylan to live in her car again, but Electra may act like she deserves it for breaking the rules. Of course, Electra could also turn on Will himself and break up with him if she feels he's been disloyal as well. No matter how it all goes down, RJ Forrester may take advantage of the conflict and make his move with Electra. Next, B&B may finally let the fashion rivalry story heat up. By the time the week of February 9 to 13 gets underway, will Ridge Forrester find out about Eric Forrester's new job and blast his father? Katie Logan Spencer is thrilled to have Eric on board as her lead designer at Logan. But Ridge and Brooke Logan Forrester will be furious when they get that news. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Eric will rush to his own defense down the road. But plenty of backlash is brewing. The Bold and the Beautiful is hinting that Steffy and Hope's rivalry will pick up steam once again. If it's not about Forrester Creations or Liam, it's about something else entirely. This time, it could be about their parents, who have feelings for one another. Once again, Steffy and Hope are getting involved in their parents' love lives. But this time, it's about Taylor and Deacon, who have grown close during their therapy appointments. But there's just one problem. Deacon is still married to Sheila, who could go after Taylor if their relationship becomes more than just professional. Steffy is concerned about her mother's safety. Meanwhile, Hope is only worried about her father's happiness. She's been begging him to divorce Sheila and start a relationship with Taylor. She doesn't think anything bad will come out of it. But of course, she's wrong. Sheila isn't going to give up on Deacon easily. She'll fight to the death, and she means that. If anything happens to Taylor, Hope will have a target on her back. Not only does she have to worry about Sheila's wrath, but she also has to worry about Steffy's revenge. The two have feuded over the years about their shared love for Liam and the future of Forrester Creations. But their starkly different reactions to their parents' situation could have them butting heads. Thomas and Zendi returned, only to disappear again. They wanted to work on Hope for the future together, but nothing has come out of this collaboration since. Now there's a brewing fashion war. Katie launched her new fashion house, Logan, which had previously been trademarked under the Forrester Creations umbrella. The Logans, Spencers, and Forresters are already at odds over the outcome. Hope and Steffy's rivalry is likely to return. The preview for this week shows Deacon and Taylor kissing, which suggests trouble could be ahead for this new couple. They listen to Hope rather than Steffy, who's worried about what could happen next. Hope could also end up in trouble. Steffy could make the executive decision to ditch Hope for the future, leaving her arch-nemesis on her own. Will Hope end up at Katie's new fashion house with a whole new collection? The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for January 26, 2026, features Steffy accompanying Elektra on a business trip, and Finn giving Dylan and Will the chance to bring Elektra's worst nightmare to life. Elektra and Ivy were set to go on a business trip this week, but it appears Steffy will take her cousin's place. Before she leaves town, Elektra laid down some new ground rules for Dylan after discovering that she and Will shared a teriyaki chicken dinner for two. She has essentially banished Dylan to the guest house and ordered her to avoid the main house at all costs. With levels of insecurity through the roof, this might be the worst possible time for Forrester to send Elektra out of town on business. Elektra and Steffy leaving town might be the best thing for everyone else in town. They spent the majority of last week's episodes telling everyone what to do and how to act, so this is a much-needed reprieve. Dylan can have some freedom to not feel like the world's biggest burden, and Will can exist without walking on eggshells. Deacon and Taylor might appreciate the break from Steffy as well. She ordered the pair to cease contact to avoid the wrath of Sheila, so with Steffy away for a bit, they might dive deeper into their growing connection. Monday's episode is also slated to feature Finn inadvertently causing Dylan and Will to spend time together. It seems that any time Steffy is out of the picture, Finn has no clue how to exist in real life. He welcomes any and all sorts of trouble, and somehow he finds himself mixed up in the drama surrounding Will and the woman who ran down his lunatic daughter. It's unclear exactly what Finn does to facilitate this bonding session, but it's bound to have consequences for everyone involved. Elektra was crystal clear about her expectations for Dylan while she was away in San Francisco. She didn't want Dylan entering the main house for any reason while she was out of town, and now her boyfriend and the homeless former art teacher are set to get much more acquainted. Also, Ivy is no longer accompanying her niece on the business trip, so expect Ivy to make an appearance at the beach house this week to snoop on Elektra's behalf. Ivy has been determined to break that relationship apart since Luna was carrying Will's baby, and this is her best shot at doing so. The Bold and the Beautiful is pitting Elektra and Dylan against one another. Elektra doesn't like knowing that Dylan and Will had dinner alone together. Meanwhile, fans already don't agree with how Elektra has treated her boyfriend, so they're rooting for Dylan to end up with Will. Over on Reddit, B&B fans agreed that they're rooting for Dylan. They hope she's successful in seducing Will. Elektra is going away on a business trip with her Aunt Ivy, but there's a change of plans. Ivy can't make it on the trip, so Elektra will be accompanied by Steffy. Meanwhile, her aunt will catch Will and Sydney in a compromising position. Fans haven't liked the way that Elektra has treated Will, especially when he was taken advantage of by Luna. Instead of empathizing with him, Elektra made the situation about herself. Some fans have called her behavior embarrassing. Once again, they're getting secondhand embarrassment by Elektra's reaction to her good friend. One Redditor wrote, "Talk about insecure! Elektra is embarrassing herself." Currently, Elektra has warned Dylan not to overstep her boundaries. She was upset with her friend for having dinner with Will. But some fans have argued that she should have taken this to Will rather than Dylan. Plus, Dylan is a relatable character. She doesn't come from wealth or privilege. Rather, she was homeless and living out of her car, which has fans rooting for her victory. One fan noted, "She's honestly the most sympathetic and rootable character they've had in a good while. 10 years at least." The homeless part felt kinda out of pocket for the show, and I didn't like it. But damn, she's been so relatable and likable since. What also helps matters is that Dylan is more grounded and down to earth, which is what Will needs in his life. Dylan's situation has already opened up Will's eyes to the world. She could teach him a lot. Someone else posted, "Yes, they better not make her psycho or evil. I would like an actual love triangle where Will falls for her simply because she is pure-hearted and not manipulative. Let Elektra be the villain instead." On The Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon's marriage to Sheila and his growing feelings for Taylor have taken center stage. Deacon reconciled with Sheila after starting therapy with the good doctor, but as his sessions with Taylor increased, their connection grew as well. Despite Deacon's children urging him to leave Sheila for Taylor, the number one reason he hasn't given in to the temptation is the potential violent reaction from Sheila. However, the longer Sheila goes without a significant incident, one question begins to form. Is Deacon creating a self-fulfilling prophecy? The natural assumption is that Sheila will revert to her former ways and wreak havoc on the lives of everyone who betrayed her. Honestly, as ruthless as she can be, would that be the most unjustified thing? Sheila has worked tirelessly to prove herself to Deacon, Taylor, and both of Deacon's children that she's a changed woman, but nobody has taken her seriously. They wanted her to be a better person, and she's doing her best. But that doesn't stop them from name-calling and excluding her from major family functions. Deacon is terrified of what Sheila might do if she learns the truth about what's happening in the therapy sessions. Steffy's made it abundantly clear where she stands on the matter, but Hope and Deke are desperate for their father to end his marriage. They're willing to make Taylor collateral damage if it means that he is far away from Sheila. The adult thing to do in the situation would be to explain to Sheila that things aren't working out and have the courage to tell her face-to-face that it's over. Engaging in an affair behind Sheila's back is a surefire way to create the very monster that Deacon fears the most. There's no denying the chaos that Sheila has caused in the past. She also shouldn't have kept the Luna secret from her husband. However, she's far from the only person in Los Angeles who kept the truth about Luna under wraps. Sheila is held to an impossible standard, and no matter how genuine her changes are, people won't believe in her. Everyone walks around scared of what she's capable of, but their acts of betrayal feel like an open invitation for Sheila to resurrect the version of herself that she's tried so hard to bury. Sheila could do the funniest thing ever and prove everyone wrong. Instead of giving in to her darkest impulses and succumbing to the persona that everyone expects, she could do the opposite. Sheila could handle Deacon and Taylor's infidelity with dignity and grace and choose to make a clean break. If they want to act morally superior and treat her like she's a caged animal that can't be let out, the best revenge would be to react differently. A version of Sheila who chooses herself over death and destruction would be more compelling than returning to the same old narrative. Deacon has made incredible advancements in his life, but people were willing to give me a second chance. Sheila hasn't really had that. She was never able to form a genuine relationship with her son Finn because of her past attacks on Steffy's family. Luna's life was cut short before they could spend much time together. Every time Sheila tries to create a connection and prove herself to someone, they are either forced to cut her off or end up dead. The lone example is Lee, and people should really learn from her example. Sheila nearly killed her, but Lee recognizes the changes she'd made and treats her friend accordingly. In all likelihood, Sheila probably won't choose this path, and she will seek the route of revenge, and it's hard not to feel like Deacon and Taylor earned what's coming their way. There's a right way and a wrong way to pursue their feelings, and in their case, it might be the deadliest option possible. The Bold and the Beautiful gave viewers a realistic look at the economy and job market. Dylan was homeless and living out of her car, so Electra and Will invited her to live at the guest house temporarily. In the meantime, she's been looking for a job, and it hasn't gone well. She initially had her eye on Forrester Creations, but she could also work for a burgeoning fashion house. On the Thursday, January 22nd episode, Dylan applied for a job online. However, she was frustrated by one of the requirements, a master's degree, which she doesn't have. Dylan decided to call one of the positions, but she was still stuck without a position. Meanwhile, at Forrester Creations, intern Jamie expressed interest in the front desk receptionist position. Steffy informed her that she had someone else in mind. Jamie reminded Steffy that she's been there 14 months. Steffy realized that Jamie was the more suitable candidate for the position. Later, Electra came in to discuss her business trip with Ivy. Steffy informed her that Dylan should apply to be an intern since Jamie is getting the administrative position. Forrester Creations may own the luxury world, but there's a new fashion house in town, and Will's got connections. Electra already doesn't like knowing that Will and Dylan had dinner together the night before. In that same episode, Will broke the news to Electra that Dylan had his chicken teriyaki. Electra jokingly asked if she was being replaced, but then she wondered how Dylan ended up eating dinner with him. Electra doesn't want her friend to overstep her boundaries when it comes to her relationship with Will. But Dylan and Will be spending a lot of time together while Electra's away. Dylan's likely to share her struggles with the job hunt. Will could bring up his mom's new fashion house since Katie's going to need more than a designer. She's going to need an administrative assistant as well. Currently, Will feels insecure about his position now that his mom has left. If RJ pushes Will out of Forrester Creations, he could easily follow Dylan to Logan. Things are shaking up, and it'll be interesting to see how they unfold. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Morgan Fairchild will return as Dottie for Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Electra Forrester's jewelry pitch. During the week of January 26-20th, Steffy will tell Electra there's been a change of plans, so she'll now be going with her to San Francisco in Ivy Forrester's place. That may be partly because of Dottie, since Morgan Fairchild will step back up in the role she last played in 2009. Wealthy socialite Dottie used to know Stephanie Forrester years ago, so Steffi may think it's best if Stephanie's granddaughter is part of the jewelry pitch that's coming up. It could help make the connection a little more personal as Steffi joins Electra in presenting some new designs. Dottie will try on some jewelry with her assistant, Joseph, by her side. Joseph may offer his approval on some fresh looks, along with Dottie, who'll hopefully gush over these Forrester pieces. Of course, Morgan Fairchild also pops up from time to time on General Hospital as a shopping channel host named Haven de Haviland. Haven is known for being a bit of a snob on set at Home and Heart. Now Fairchild will hop back over to B&B for Dottie's latest run. The CBS soap brings in splashy guest stars occasionally to shake things up, so this will certainly be an example of that. If Dottie approves the jewelry she's being presented with, Steffi and Electra may have something to celebrate soon enough. It's easy to imagine Electra and Steffi patting themselves on the backs if this meeting goes well, along with any others. Unfortunately, there'll be trouble waiting for Electra and Steffi back in Los Angeles. Once this San Francisco trip winds down, both Steffi and Electra will get tangled up in some new LA drama next. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say bad news will be waiting on Electra and Steffi at home, so stick with us for updates on any big challenges